And it's your boy Prince of Pain with Putting On People Radio right here at Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium, introducing our wonderful host, Miss Melanie Hogan, and introducing the Chilove Radio Show. How you doing, Melanie?
All is well. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Good, good. How was your weekend?
I've been working. I put the people was asking me to give them a new kind of segment where I give them prison stories. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've been filming the last 2 days, and Pop started something new called the House of Pain, IDOC with POP. So I've been filming and shooting and broadcasting the last 2 days. I've been busy.
Okay, I'm proud of you, and I'm interested in watching because I know you got some real life stories, and hopefully your stories can help everybody have a better understanding of what's really going on up in there, and we can start to improve some things. So I'm proud of you. You always move.
Thank you.
So we here at the Chilove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium are always elevating, healing, and reconditioning. The show is hosted by yours truly, Melanie. My friends call me Mel. Chilove Radio Show is sponsored by Chilove LLC. Now let's ground ourselves as we do so that we can come fully into the present moment. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. 1. 2. 3. Okay, you should feel some relaxation in your neck and your shoulders. So, okay, we're doing updates today, and we're talking about COVID. Just gonna have to accept that COVID is living here for a while. I know we expected a little visit, but no. So now we are still below the peak levels by the daily metrics, but we are increasing. And as we said before, they are testing more people now, so that numbers that were not seen before are starting to be revealed now. So of course, you are expecting the numbers to rise, but they are saying that they are continuing to uncover hundreds of new cases per day. And this is starting to become a level of concern. States like Arizona and Texas have experienced massive surges. A lot of these states are actually regressing in their phase plans and are starting to shut back down because the numbers are increasing with those who are positive with the virus as well as those who are actually dying from it.
Melanie, what phase we at in Chicago, Melanie?
4.
Still
We're
in
in phase 4 right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So the average numbers rose from 598 on June 20th to 772 on July 3rd.
Good Lord.
Currently, we are at 883 cases with 6 additional deaths. Now, we are noticing an uptick in cases amongst the younger age groups between the ages of 18 and 29. This is not surprising that this age group we're starting to see an increase in the positive testing between this age group because these are the ones that we have been seeing in the videos, having the house parties, just out everywhere, no mask, not sanitizing, not even really taking this seriously. And the fact remains is that whether it's COVID or radiation from the G5 antennas, wherever the actual source is coming from, it is manifesting real symptoms. So I'm not surprised at all that this age group that we're seeing an increase of positive cases with this age group. So we already hear the current list of symptoms. fevers, chills, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle soreness, body ache, headache, loss of taste and smell, and a sore throat. Now we have 3 additional symptoms. So if you're feeling congested, having a runny nose, or noticing that you're having diarrhea, these are now new symptoms that apply to a positive COVID-19 test results. The symptoms can range from mild to severe and usually show within 2 to 14 days. Now, because all of this is going on and continuing, we have a Chicago Marathon every year hosted by the Bank of America. That has currently been canceled. And TT Lightfoot said that if these cases continue to rise, she will do what she has to do, which means, revert back to phase 3, revert back to phase 2, however she needs to go to maybe eventually be shutting the city back down because of the uptick and the statistics for these cases. And honestly, it's going to get back cold in a couple months. With the way that everything is going, I wouldn't really be surprised. A lot of other states are having to reclose, certain establishments back down and just regress back in phases. So that's what we have here with the COVID. I understand that people are, you're agitated, you want to move forward in your life, you feel stuck, and we need to live our lives. We need to have some type of joy and still find ways to continue to elevate and grow within this pandemic. But at the same time, we have to find ways to be more mindful. There's one of my Facebook friends posted today that one of his coworkers went to Atlanta, and when she came back, she did not quarantine for 14 days and just came straight to work. And Atlanta is one of the states that's on the hotspot list, to where if you go and visit there when you come home, you have to quarantine immediately for 14 days. Her lack of consideration for others, she has now started to get additional employees at the facility sick, and they're testing positive for COVID as well. So, it's not like you can look at somebody and see that they have COVID. But if you know that you're in a hot spot, just try to, do the best that you can to keep yourself safe and be considerate of others, because whatever moves that we make, we chose to make those moves. So thereby making those moves, we chose to accept the rewards and or consequences that come along with it. And it's not fair to plague somebody else because of the decisions that you made in your personal life. So we just have to be more mindful of that. And Pop, you asked the question, I don't know, maybe it was the last session or what segment or whatever. But anyway, you asked about was anybody actually defunding the police? So we do have several places who did start to defund the police. The University of Minneapolis, their university defunded the police, and they don't want to have them, on their campuses anymore. Baltimore City Council, and by defunded in this way, Portland City Council, they defunded by taking away a certain amount of money. They didn't defund by, getting rid of the police system, period. They just took some money from them. So there are places who are starting to take resources from the police and limit their participation with them. Okay, so we were talking about the 4th of July weekend that Superintendent Brown was putting a call out to the public to help decrease the violence here in Chicago. Hopefully those sirens in my background are not because of some additional violence in Chicago.
I was just laughing about that, right? I was just thinking to myself, you the one in the hot spot. You the one in the hot spot. I'm not talking about COVID. I'm not talking about COVID-19 either. You hear me? I'm not talking about COVID-19 either.
I'm supposed to be here. I'm shot love, so this spot needs some of my energy.
Yeah.
OMG. Sometimes my big guy will put you in the trenches. You understand? So it is what it is. OMG. But yeah, so we were talking about the July 4th weekend because there are a lot of innocent people dying. There are a lot of ops dying. And more importantly, I don't want to say more importantly, but these are children. So kind of more importantly, innocent children are dying. You know, they had nothing to do with the reason why anybody was shooting. And a lot of them over the past few weeks are just losing their lives. So, over the July 4th weekend, nearly 80 people died and 15 got killed. 12 of the victims were children. 2 out of 12 of those victims, 2 out of 12 of those children were killed. I mean, if we don't have nothing else in common, we love our children, regardless of what color you are, what status you are, how much money you have, what gang you represent. We all love our children. And that should be a common ground that people should at least agree upon. If you are just adamant about taking somebody's life, okay, that's between you and my big guy. But the least that you all can do is come to a common agreement, you know, to when you seeing the children out there, no kids. Scarface said, no women, no children. But see, he was a gangster, and y'all just savages. So the mental, your mental levels are different. But even in your savagery, you can still elevate. So we have a 7-year-old, Natalia Wallace, who was shot in the forehead as she and other children played in the yard. This baby was playing in the yard and got shot in the forehead. Did y'all hit that baby third eye? Just took the light of God up out of her. They said several men pulled up, got out, and started shooting in her direction. This is the type of stuff that makes Tupac had a song that says, you wonder why we call you bitch. That's some bitch ass shit. And I'm not saying it to tear you down. Discipline and truth is a part of love. And here on this earthly plane, we categorize everything. And in that category, these circumstances fit in a bitch category. This is ridiculous. There was a large gathering in the middle of the street in Inglewood. So the little girl Natalia got shot at where they took her to Latrobe. No, somewhere else south of Latrobe was out here. And then we had another shooting, a mass shooting here in Inglewood where 8 people were shot and 4 died, including a 14-year-old boy. They said 4 men walked up and started shooting. Out of these 8 people, how many of them were your actual target? How many ops got away with their life at night? In North Lawndale on 15th and Millard. Now, 15th and Millard always been popping. 15th and Millard always been popping. But on this day, they was lighting fireworks. A car pulled up and somebody shot towards the crowd. This shit. West Rogers Park. A 10-year-old girl and a 48-year-old woman were in an apartment building in the 7400 block of Artesian when a man fired shots through the door. The girl is in good condition and the woman is in serious condition. Little Village. 15-year-old boy struck by a stray bullet in the 3000 block of South Trip Avenue. Both were in fair condition and the police believe it to be a drive-by. Garfield Park. 4 people in the alley, 16-year-old girl shot, in addition to 3 other men. All were either in good condition or refused treatment. Now, for the people that refused treatment, they had me questioning, did they know that was this some op stuff? Because I know that, you know, a lot of times people who live their gang life, they won't, you know, cooperate with the police even if they are hurt. They will refuse hospital treatment. So I'm wondering if some of them were actually involved in it and kind of just knew what it was and gonna handle it themselves. I don't know. South Shore, 1 man killed and a woman wounded. The 1000 block of East 132nd Street. 2 men got into an altercation. What the hell was that? What the 2 men? 2 men got into an altercation.
Those just tuning in to iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium, Chilove Radio Show. She's talking about the gun violence and some of the murders that have been going on this week. Well, she sounds like she got murder going on in her living room right now, at her studio. You know what I'm saying?
OMG. Like, OMG.
Only get it right here on Chilove Radio, baby. Pop radio worldwide.
This is real life, yes. Chilove Radio, Pop Radio, Pop Radio worldwide, iHeartRadio, Spotify Premium. We giving it to you real life, real time. This is crazy.
I hear some Chiracians. You might hear some Chiracians in the background. You might hear some car alarms. You might hear some sirens. But you're going to get it right here. I'm putting on People Radio, Chilove Radio with Melanie Hogan.
OMG. So they got into this, 2 men got into an altercation with 1 man. And he came back and shot them both. He shot through the door and shot both of them. Now, this is also an unfortunate incident, but in this case, I have to give him a Chilove salute. Why? Because I talk about you all not hitting your target. And in this case, this man hit his target. So I have to give you a Chilove salute, sir. Now, near North Side by Kingsbury Street, a 28-year-old man suffered multiple gunshots to the body and died. And if you all notice, this wasn't just in one area of Chicago. It literally hit all 4 sides, north, east, south, and west. So we cannot, you know, continue to west side, west side this, south side this, north side, east side. Everybody has some healing and reconditioning to do. 2020 has really been an eye-opener. You know, and these things that are occurring aren't new, and they are not occurring because of the pandemic and everything that's going on here in 2020. But 2020 has added to the energy of what was really already, you know, what a lot of us Chicagoans already knew was occurring here. And usually it'll either be south side or west side, especially west side, when it came to the violence and the killings, but it has spread. It has spread all over. The entire city has patches of area that are hotspots where there's a lot of shooting and killing and just violence. So of course, Superintendent David Brown, extended his deepest condolences and sympathy to all of the family. You know, he said we cannot allow this to be normalized and get used to children being gunned down every weekend. Unfortunately, it is normalized because if you notice, the people didn't. There were still some protesting rallies against violence going on, but it did not get the same traction as the protests and everything for George Floyd. It did not get the same outrage as it did for George Floyd. And especially here in Chicago, we have gotten used to these babies being just murdered, their lives just taken. And it's unfortunate, it's scary. And for some reason, we have not like really taken to the streets and taken to the blocks and, you know, formed our own crowds to go to these hot spots and, you know, check these guys without killing these kids. Or at least hollering at whoever the head's supposed to be. So it has become normalized. Everybody cries, there's some outrage, you know, some sadness. They preparing for the baby's funeral, and you know, life is going on while certain people who love those children are living with their voice for the rest of their lives. Sometimes not even having justice. He says that CPD will not stop until the violence ends. He wants to revamp the electronic monitoring system, the house arrest ban. I didn't know that they stopped. And keep violent offenders.
You didn't know what, honey?
That they stopped the house arrest?
Oh, I didn't know.
They stopped people on house arrest? No, yeah, because he said he wants to prevent.
They've been putting people, when the COVID-19, they've been putting people on house arrest.
So what are you talking about? He want to revamp it?
Maybe he want to stop it.
Revamp?
Revamp. I don't know what
He want to kick it up. Yeah, he said he want to kick it up, bring it back. So maybe a certain aspect within that thing that they changed or something that he probably gonna bring back or something.
I know this, Melanie, for sure. I know they've been letting people out on house arrest bans, especially with the COVID-19.
Okay.
I know that some people that they did let out caught some cases while they was out. I know that much. And I know that they didn't have enough people to watch everybody out on the ban. So they was trying to say that a lot of the violence was because these guys was out on house arrest.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually logical, especially if while they were on the inside, nobody is teaching them how to heal themselves, how to recondition themselves, how to, you know, coping skills when they do get angry. I don't think jail is really a good idea. How does it really help it? It's like you taking people off these are bad people, or people who do bad things off the street. So, you know, to keep the people who are not engaging in this type of activity safe. So, okay, I understand that. But then once you get them in there, what are you doing to prepare them to re-enter society? So if you did not do anything to recondition this inmate, of course they would continue to engage in that type of behavior. That's logical. So, okay. And he also wants to keep violent offenders in jail longer to reduce crime. Okay, that may be a good idea. But if you're going to keep them in there, recondition them. Teach them how to heal. Let them feel comfortable with getting their story off their chest and how they got to be here, at this state. Try to understand them. Just, if you're going to keep them in longer, recondition them. You're going to have to recondition them. They're going to have to understand. If a person does not understand why what they're doing is wrong, if they don't understand, the type of blood trail that they have left behind them, and see how it is, how they're technically being a cancer to society, and this is the only way that they know, even if they feel like they want to stop, if they have no other ideas about how to even make that happen to where they can start to live another lifestyle, you have to think about that. This is not the Wild Wild West, to where it's just like the OK Corral. Like, these are people, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, they are now who they are and engaging in what they're engaging in. And it's like, we have to help them, help themselves. So he said, he gave out the little tip, cpdtip.com website, for people to, give tips, call in with tips about who is behind these murders and these shootings. And over the weekend, I was watching probably SVU or Chicago PD, whatever, and they were arresting somebody. And as many times as I've heard these words, for some reason now it resonated with me with what they were actually saying. And when they tell you that you're under arrest and that you have the right to remain silent, because everything you say or do will and can be used against you. Will and can be used against you. So that don't sound like a group of people that I want to cooperate with. Because you're not trying to help the situation. You really don't care about what happened. What you're trying to do is find somebody to punish for whatever incident report you got to write down. So whatever I say can and will be used against you, can and will be used against you. So that means you're not even really you're not trying to hear the truth. You listening to twist words to where it is used against somebody. I'm not feeling like I want to cooperate. You have to understand, Michael Jackson got a song, They Don't Really Care About Us. Kanye, had his stand talking about how George Bush don't care about us. Tupac let everybody know how they don't care about us. So when you're in a place of leadership and the people that you are over, the people in the streets are hollering, they don't care about us, what type of cooperation do you think you're going to really get if I feel like you don't care about me? Even though what is going on is wrong, and perhaps my information can't help, you the op in my eyes. Because some type of way, you may take me trying to help bring justice for one of these people who got killed, and now all of a sudden, my name is some stuff. I do remember back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but the police would tell the gang members who made the report. So now this family is fearing for their lives because they was trying to get some peace or bring some justice for somebody. And the police told that Miss So-and-so, Miss Smith, called us and told us. She told us, well, y'all, she sit right up in her window. She told us that y'all, it's a little loose brick back here that y'all pull out to put your stuff in. So now Miss Smith and her family has to fear for their lives, are afraid to come outside. And then the gang members so bold that they actually come into her door. It's a way to do things, and a lot of people have intellectual intelligence where you're able to retain knowledge, but your emotional intelligence is low. You conditioned yourself to become more robotic than humane. I'm not really.
You fucked me up with that one. I'm still fucked up off the. You said the emotional level intelligence is low, huh?
Yeah.
Over here baffled off of that shit. Still over here thinking.
It's like
That their emotional education is low.
yeah, and it's true because there's a lot of people that's highly intelligent, but when it comes to humane situations, it's just like wow.
That was pretty deep, man. That was pretty deep.
Like wow, my God, can and will be used against you in court of law.
A lot of them show up like that, though, Melanie. A lot of them show up like a lot of police. I'm not saying every police, but the majority of the police that I've encountered or have seen on TV or in live, episodes or whatever, they show up like you the ops anyway. You know what I'm saying?
In real life. Yeah. Now, I didn't hear some that were kind, and I complimented them on it. But I had some where I had to let them know, like, no, it's not that. I'm badging off. It's the way that you do things. And, a lot of them do abuse their powers. And unfortunately, when they see the white tees and a certain type of, the profile for what they think a Chiracian is, unfortunately, it's like, all we see is blue. So it's hard to kind of tell who is who. And that's why these police officers who are serious about actually trying to help make things better need to step forward and take the lead from. But I know that people who are aggressive usually are aggressive in the streets at work, like it's a aggressive round and round. And they may be and fear for whatever consequences. A lot of times there are clicks within these type of police stations and everything. So that's why we have the term bravery and courage, because that this must end. That it needs to end. That it is not good for not only the people, but it's not good for CPD. It's not good for the police anywhere. You should. Yeah, it's crazy because it's like CPD and majority of the residents of Chicago who are not about that type of life should be on the same level, on the same side against the bad people. But it's like CPD feel like all the residents, the majority of the residents are odd. And it's like sometimes you gotta just take a moment, engage the situation, engage the energy first before immediately assuming that you are the know-all of everything. Because a lot of times you wrong. And you get so used to steady hearing the same story over and over again, and then finding out that yes, people were guilty or whatever. So now you assuming that everybody is guilty. And that makes no sense. So here at the Chilove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium, we're asking you to go back to this round table that you sit at and really start to think. Y'all have behind this policy. Oh, policy states this. Well, it was men who created the policy. So let's not act like it can't be changed. And, I understand that being in that position, you come around a lot of energy, and it can be depressing to a lot of these police officers. I do believe a lot of these police officers are suffering from some type of depression or post-traumatic stress disorder themselves. So now you got to kind of harden up some so that you don't keep taking this home with you every night, and it's affecting your personal life. So everybody needs some sort of healing and reconditioning. And do not forget, I understand business is business, But you're doing business with humans, with people, not robots. Even with the computer, it's somebody behind the computer. We have to keep in mind that we are all human. Everybody has feelings. Everything, there's a reaction for every action has a reaction. And I've seen certain police officers, they'll tell you, and that's so crazy because they'll tell you, they try to act like they use psychology. Know that every police officer had to take some type of psychology course. So now you are using that psychology to appeal to this person, to this perk, whatever y'all call them, the people, to their humane side to get them to start talking because you all need to know more of the details of the situation. So you play like you cool, you play like you're understanding, only to get these people to start talking and then slam them mercilessly. No mercy at all. But you just sat there and told this young man that if he talked to you, he could go home. Making him forget all about how when you arrested him and read him his Miranda rights, how you told him that everything you say or do can and will be held against you. And then you wonder why we don't trust y'all. Back when slaves couldn't read, you had the upper hand. Back when people had a low comprehensive level, you all had the upper hand. More and more people are being educated and educating themselves, starting to comprehend what has been in our faces the whole time. And if you want this change that you say you want, you need to make some changes within yourselves, within your department, within your council, within your board. I remember it was this guy, he used to, when he'd get caught up with his girl, he'd be like, you got me. He'd be like, that's what y'all need to say. They got him. And then when y'all coming up, I was thinking about something else too, like, okay, so, the police, the ops or whatever, it's kind of like that whole cops and robbers thing, from like back in the day or whatever. And it was the chase. It was like the thrill of the chase. Now, this day and age, they tell you not to run from police officers because that's the best way to get shot. But I think that should be changed within the CPD system and all of the police districts, to where if they start to run, chase them. If you can't catch them, you need to get back in the gym then. A bullet should not be going into anybody's back because you don't feel like running. That's ridiculous. Is that another reason why y'all killing these boys because you didn't feel like running? Y'all should run, little Chiracians. Run, OJ, run. And make these niggas run. I don't want y'all to get shot.
This is a motivational podcast. Don't let Melanie send y'all off today.
I'm just playing.
Run for it, run.
I'm just saying, back in the day, they used to run. The police used to chase these boys.
No, Melanie, you not run.
The police used to chase them. Then they stopped chasing them and started shooting them. Like, what's the problem?
They will shoot your ass. You run right now. Do not run.
Running will be good for the police officers. Do you know how much stress a police officer will release if he just ran? That's a form of transmuting energy. He can get that stress up off him from the day, take a couple runs after a few hours, everybody a little more relaxed at the end of the day.
Well, you know, the Dunkin' Donuts, you know, them shutting down all them Dunkin' Donuts gonna help them a lot now. That's gonna really help their ass.
But they really should change that. If the person runs, don't shoot them, run after them.
They catch them up. You know what? Why they never made the one guns that they got in the movies that shoot out like nets and stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
They got those kind of guns. That ain't gonna hurt you. You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
Just stick us in just stick us in a Spider-Man little web or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a good idea.
No harm, no foul. Nobody hurt.
Y'all watch you know, take these notes.
No harm, no foul. Nobody hurt.
You need to take some notes today. Yeah. That's actually a good idea. They should. I mean, we got all this technology right now.
They got so much hate. See, their whole system is punitive. They want to punish. They want, you know,
right.
When you got a justice system that tells you, you know, in God I trust, and then, you know, thou shalt not kill, but then got the death penalty. You know what I'm saying?
Great. That's right. And it's like
hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy.
Yeah. And yet you all want us to continue to support you in this, participate, cooperate. Nah, that part is going to have to change. We are talking about justice here. So, okay, incidents happen, but your first go-to should not be, who am I going to punish? Who's to be punished here? Or just, you know, okay, you're part of, you're going to be punished here. It's about justice. And justice is looking at the entire picture, looking at the root of the cause, investigating properly, not, because sometimes, you know, with the character witnesses, sometimes it was a little prostitute on the street who saw it. Sometimes it was a little hype. Sometimes it was somebody who involved in a gang. But then you don't even take their report seriously because you feel like they're not a good character. But in all things, you take account of everything that you was told and investigate it all. And then when you see who is at fault for it, you make the punishment fit the crime. And like I said, there's a difference between punishment and discipline. Punishment is to hurt, discipline is to teach. So you make the punishment fit the crime, but at the same time, you are teaching this person. You are helping this person to heal and recondition themselves so that they don't continue to involve themselves in these same things.
Let me ask you something.
And, you know, show them they should be there, actually.
Let me ask you something, Melanie. So let's just say, right, a brother get locked up, right? And they put him away for 20 years, 10 years, 25 years, 30 years in prison, right? But then it come out later after 20 years or whatever that this person was innocent. And they get out of jail because of they appeal new evidence or whatever. So how do you help those people heal, and how does the system pay for wrongdoing a person's whole life by falsely imprisoning them?
Well, one thing about it, when things happen to us, whether they were just or unjust, we have to accept what it is. And that's the first step, accepting that this did happen. Knowing that you were innocent, and there still is some gratefulness in this. Although it was 20 and 25 years of your life taken, you did finally receive some sort of justice because you're out.
That ain't justice enough, baby. That ain't justice enough.
It's justice to the point to where you're out. Some people die in jail, innocent men.
So
Some
just
people died.
guilty people pay the crime and go to the penitentiary. What happens to the system when that innocent person and that innocent person's family went through the pain and their kids were separated from them and they come home after they had to go prove through lawyers and money that they was innocent? I know a few people right now.
The system should give reparations for that type of stuff. They should give reparations. It should be a wake-up call to where they start to change their policies to make sure that this stuff isn't continuously happening.
They won't even say, I'm sorry, Melanie.
Huh?
They won't even say, I'm sorry. They won't even say, I'm sorry.
They definitely need to apologize. And I think that they should publicly apologize. And any type of resource that family needs, they should willingly open up the door for it. And you change these people's life in this manner, you have to change their life back on the positive side of life. Because I know a lot of people still be struggling and stuff, even though this person then got out. You know, all the money and everything that you said they had to pour out, a lot of things can change by the time they didn't get home. So the system needs to fix it. I'm a big person on if you broke it, fix it. And with them not apologizing, like that's ridiculous. How you so hot-headed that you know that you messed up. In fact, like I said, we don't have the little men back then, but we could just, go back. So you can't reverse back to that time and let them continue on before you interrupted their lives. So the least you could do is, and it's a sincere apology, reparations and resources of all kinds unlimited to these families so that they can heal and elevate and, feel like life is worth living again. And to reboot this whole system. They still working off of old rules, old knowledge. They're not current with what is going on today. I don't understand how they are able.
I don't think they're emotionally educated either.
They are. Their emotional intelligence is very, very low.
Yes.
Very low. But don't all businesses tell you leave your feelings at home. Don't feelings on. You know what I'm saying?
The only reason
that needs to be incorporated.
The only reason I brought that up, Melanie, because I wanted to look at it from the other side, like when the system wrong. I know like 5 guys that have been out for 1 year, right? And about 2 years ago, the police who put them in prison, now they all different guys from different cases. They don't even know each other. And I only know of all of them after this case that happened. But so one police officer, which was corrupt, went to jail, right? And he got caught up by putting cases on people, right? So after he got locked up, it opened up a lot of people's cases who was already accusing the police, saying, man, dude lying and he putting this evidence on me. So there's a few guys that I know on the same police case that have been out for about a year, and they right now fighting the system, broke, with no money, trying to still get paid for doing all them years locked up innocently. You know what I mean?
That should not even have to be a fight. Once they have found a corrupt cop and seeing that this police officer was, putting things on people to develop these doggone cases, it shouldn't even be a fight. It should not even be a fight. They should not have to fight for their right to get compensated for the time that was lost. For people's children have grown up without their parents, and then you want to make them fight for some more justice for you to compensate them, and that's the least that you can do. You're not even apologizing. It all starts from the top and trickles down. And it's like if you not. They saying, and the police officers say, well, look at how y'all treat each other and y'all want to talk about how we treat y'all. Everybody mistreating everybody. But seeing that y'all get the status and supposed to be the ones who are setting the tone for everything, it's good that all of this is coming out because it needs to be exposed so that something can be done about it. And that's ridiculous. Like I know somebody who the police said put something on. It changed his life. It changed his baby mama's life because he could not he had a felony. So now it's, it's a struggle. She looking at him like,
I even seen some dudes,
still doing what she doing as a mother, but he's not able to.
I even seen a dude, Melanie, I was in prison, right, with a guy who had been sentenced as a kid. He got locked up at 15 years old. He was one of the guys locked up for that murder on Oprah Winfrey's nephew, right? So they gave him 20 years plus natural life, right? So it didn't matter if he did the 20 years or whatever, or if he gave back the 20 years, he still had natural life, you know? So I remember knowing this guy for about 14 years doing my sentence, you know? And since day one of them dudes that was always in the law library, always talk about how innocent he was and he ain't do it, you know what I mean? So he finally got an appeal, and in order for him to go home free, he had to plead guilty to something, but they still let him out of prison. They took away the natural life and just let him do the 20 years time considered served. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he still had to plead guilty just to get out of prison.
Yeah, I don't like, because it's like that's something else. You know how they had the what is it called? When they tell the police officers they have to bring in a certain number of citations or whatever per month and all of that or whatever. Did you know about that? So there's supposed to be a certain number of arrests and so forth. They need to remove that, because if you're telling these police officers we need a certain number of citations, a certain number of arrests coming in, for our data, whatever. Now, police officers are prompted to put things, make cases of their own.
They've been admitting it. They've been talking, how some of the officers have been, fessing up on how they've had to make quotas by a certain day.
Yeah, they need to remove the quota, because that's putting pressure on them to, for them to keep their job.
You making up crime. You making up crime when ain't no crime.
Right. Just to make sure that you're making your job, or to get, get elevated within your position and everything. So they need to go back to the round table and read and look over some things. Change. A lot needs to be changed. If you want people to be coming in, now I did hear that the complaint toward the police officers, they said that has risen numerously. So more people are starting to call in and leave these complaints about these police officers and expose them what is going on. And it's like everybody is getting down on police officers, and yes, they are the ones who are physically doing it, but who are they getting the okay from? They being used as pawns as well, because this go deeper than them. We are humans. We need to be more considerate of each other. We need to try to be more understanding of each other. We need to try to find the core of what is going on within ourselves and our own issues. Because a lot of times the anger that is spewed out here, a lot of times it's not even toward the person that is getting hurt. It's something that's going on the inside that gets you stirred up. Get to know thyself. That's a lot of weight that you're carrying around in your soul. That's why a lot of people, notice some people walk around here and they look like zombies. They move and they talking, but it's like they a zombie. You have started to elevate too low and stay in that lower vibration too long, sweetheart. You're losing yourself. Healing, reconditioning, loving. Stop with all these big egos and I gotta be I'm the boss, this, that, and the other. It's like here in Chicago, honey, the spirit is all over the land. So if you know that you a pop, know that we hear a pop back, like that's stupid. Treat us as you want to treat.
A lot of people are entangled, man. You know what I'm saying?
It is a lot of entanglement going on.
There's a lot of entanglement going on nowadays.
There's a lot of entanglement going on. And we're gonna talk about some entanglement later on this week. Because the internet been going crazy with it. But I look forward to seeing you all again, where we'll go more into this type of situation more in depth to talk about reasons why all of this violence is occurring here in Chicago, what's causing the uptick. And we love you. We want you to be safe. Even if people consider you a bad person, I still love you to self. I see your light. But I do acknowledge that you need to heal. And you do need to recondition. So if don't nobody care about you, we here at the Chilove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium do.
Keep it rocking with us right here.
Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Be safe. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love.
Keep it rocking right here with your Motivational Podcast with Melanie Hogan. Make sure to go through IG and show us some love. Melanie Hogan. Facebook, same thing. Stop by the Pop Radio Worldwide. Melanie Hogan 7 on IG. Melanie Hogan on Facebook. And make sure you keep on stopping by the website, popradioworldwide.com. We love you.